I was meditating this morning on something significant. Something that has been a realization for me since I gave my life to the Lord. When I was a little child, something very powerful. I was 4 or 5 years old when I gave my life to the Lord, as my mother told me. And some things I remember. But it's going to be strange to tell you one of the things that I really accepted at that age. I did not look at Jesus like a Muppet or a puppet show. I realized that even then, because Jesus died on the cross and he suffered, I realized even then that giving my life to the Lord meant suffering. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to have a house, I'm going to have a new car, I'm going to have a wife. No, I was thinking I'm going to suffer. But I accepted that even as a little child, not thinking about candy or a toy, jumping off mountains, surfing on boards, skating on skateboards, whatever kids think about. No, I realized then, and I accepted that as a child because I recognized who the Lord was. And I recognized the value of my soul more than the value of my body on earth. So even then, I was resigned to suffer and understood it. And I think the reason why was the other part of that. After all, who willfully, wantingly chooses suffering? For me, it wasn't about the suffering. For me, it was about, and lo, I will be with you through it all. You see, the greatest comfort is not dying alone, not suffering alone, not forgotten. People will forget you. They will leave you. They will not visit you. They'll be for you one day and not for you another. They won't stand by your side for the most part. Now, there are friends that are closer than a brother, and there are people that will love you to the end like Jesus. It's very rare to find such people, but the Lord is our anchor. And the comfort is as long as you're with me, I can go through it. Science teaches you to trust in machines and needles, doctors and nurses, but are they with you? Chiropractors, masseuses, but are they with you? Banks and companies, corporations, are they with you? Because the soul lives off of the divine, off of God. The body has to have bread and water, meat, air, of course. But the soul does not breathe oxygen. It breathes the divine. It breathes God. It lives off of the breath of God. The soul lives off of the breath of God. And that is why some people bring you joy and others do not. Some people cause you stress and others do not. And that's just from talking to them or reading their emails or their texts or their presence. Why? Because the body lives off of that physical interaction, but the soul is stressed because it lives off of the spiritual interactions. And if the spiritual interactions are off, you are going to feel off by people because they're not breathing God. Remember, the breath of God. It is important to breathe God onto people. So speaking to the soul, not to the body, is the greatest thing you can do for a human being. You've got to breathe life. What they say, speak life. And the power of the tongue is life and death. And it's talking about the soul. Because in the power of hand, you can definitely knock somebody out or lift somebody out of a pit. You can lift their body out of a pit, but have you lifted their soul? Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and have good health, even as your soul prospers. Remember that verse? But we work in the reverse. We're looking for the physical prosperity before the spiritual prosperity. Physical exercise does benefit, but spiritual exercise is profitable unto what? All things. Don't fear those who can harm your body, but fear him who can harm the body and soul. Why? The most meaningful part of us is the soul. And that's why it talks about not living in a house with a nasty woman, not eating food with a person that's vile, not accepting an offering from someone with wrong motivations. Why? Because the spirit of it. Better to have a morsel of bread than that steak with a nasty person. Better to be on a rooftop than in a warm house with a nagging woman. A woman is valuable. When she's nagging, the rooftop is better. A steak is great. But eating with a nasty person, better to have a piece of bread alone in peace. The widow's mite, she gave all she had. She didn't give some, she gave all. The rich man gave some, but did not give all. Let someone else do it. That's the rich man. The poor woman, I'm going in all. The prophet was suffering, needed food. The woman was dying herself, but she still gave her food to the prophet of God. What's the point? It was about the soul. She's thinking spiritually. Yes, there's a physical benefit, but she's thinking spirit first. The point was, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to put God first. Now, what does that mean? I talked about it a day ago, how God answers and what his answer is. See, you remember that verse, let thy will be done? So when you pray or when you do anything, it is always about God's will, not your request. And requests are fine to make. Don't get me wrong. The Lord, you're free. After all, you were free to violate the law and sleep with that person you weren't supposed to sleep with, weren't you? You were free to get drugged up, hyped up, full of alcohol. Weren't you free to do all of those things? You were free to gamble. You are free. So let's not get into a debate about feeling overwhelmed about God's requirements. Really? You didn't feel overwhelmed with that cannabis and those cigarettes and those cigars and those liquor and alcohol and wine and God knows whatever else. You didn't feel overwhelmed then. And those things give you death. But God gives you freedom. You're free. The devil locks you in one choice, and that is the abandonment of God and his law and his breath. God gives you two. You can serve him or not. You're free. So the suffering, what does it matter if the Lord is with you? And why and how can the Lord be with you if you are not with the Lord?